It's okay to admit that when it was halftime, the Buckeyes had just fumbled. They'd given up 2 touchdowns. You were overreacting just a little bit, right? You wanted to see more. You were worried about the defense, what was going on offense. I was debating the entire game plan at that point in time. It's okay if you were reacting. We've talked many times here on the Ohio State Football Report that it is healthy to overreact, to freak out a little bit, to ask for more from Ohio State, from Ryan Day. Everything you could kind of see in that moment, bit of an overreaction, and that's okay. The Buckeyes still getting it done, 38-14. We are going to discuss all our overreactions from this one. Boy, was it a very interesting game for the Buckeyes, but hey, facts are facts. 8-0, 5-0 in the Big Ten, rolling along, and the college football playoff rankings coming. We'll get into that also here in our overreactions. But first, want to be sure that you guys are subscribed. If you missed our watch party against Penn State, you missed a good time. We love the watch parties because we're talking ball. We gave away an Ohio State championship banner. You know, everybody's a community there. Loving Ohio State football is something special. Having everyone together on a Saturday, hanging out on our watch parties, always great. So if you haven't been a part of it yet, we really, really would like to have you guys be a part of our watch parties because, like I said, we have such a good time on these watch parties. And again, we would love for you to be a part of it. So let's get to our overreactions on this Sunday. Our first overreaction, Ohio State underestimated Penn State. I'm going overreaction on this one. I think that's a bit of an overreaction. The Buckeyes didn't play their best in the first half. They didn't look how we hoped they would look in the first half. However, what I'm going to say with that, what I want to say with that is the facts are, I think Penn State's a good team. I think, yes, they lost Drew Allar. Yes, they lost James Franklin. But the rest of that group that hoped to go to a national title is still playing good defense and making plays here and there on offense. And I think that's what happened to the Buckeyes. I think the game plan to keep it conservative slightly, I say slightly, backfired on them after a fumble. You know, that as least plays as possible. Don't run too many plays. Control the game. Works well for the Buckeyes. It has worked well all season until you fumble and everything's reversed. So instead of going up big at half, it's only a field goal game. I didn't overreact in that moment, and I hope you didn't either because Ohio State came ready to go. They made the right plays. They just had a little bit of a moment just before halftime where I think the plan itself kind of backfired on them. Now, next overreaction is the Buckeyes should go all Bo Jackson. I think at this point in time, I'm looking at the stats down here, Bo, 13 for 105, no touchdowns in this game, and I think that no touchdown actually, there's a key factor in that. And my big thing with Bo Jackson and with Ohio State's running game in general, I think it's messy. I think it's really, really messy. You're back to using 4 running backs today. James Peoples getting some time. Isaiah West getting some time. We know C.J. Donaldson's the red zone back. And then Bo got over 100 yards again. There's a solution here to make this not messy, and that's go all Bo. When it's in the red zone, there shouldn't be a switch flipped where you just send C.J. Donaldson in. Let's let Bo Jackson work it out a little bit. I noticed some plays where he struggled to move in the red zone. Maybe if he had more reps or real reps and didn't feel like he was going to get taken out on the next one, he'd be a little more confident. I think he should have gotten more than 13 carries. He had a really good start. They kind of took him out, went to Isaiah West, kind of went back to him, then back to CJ. And then again, there's only so many carries to go around. Let's go all Bo. I think it's time. I think it's a proper reaction to say that the Buckeyes should heavily invest and go with most of the carries being given to Bo Jackson. That's what I want to see from Ohio State going forward. Go all Bo. All right, good opportunity here to let you know this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Yeah, that's right. And Prize Picks is the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones are overhyped? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds. That's right, 60 seconds. You can be right. That's what it's about. Winning cash for being right. I take you through what we did for the Buckeyes and the Nittany Lions. Had to go more on Carnell Tate. He took care of business for us. Ethan Grunkmeyer, I did not think he was going to get much done. I was right on that one. He did not go more than 32.5 longest completion. And Julian Sayin continues the Heisman campaign way more than a touchdown pass there. So, we were right. That's the best part of it. We were right watching ball, playing Prize Picks. Love to see it. So what you want to do now is download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. One more time. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Our next overreaction is that Jeremiah Smith had his Heisman moment. That tipped pass at the line, one-handed, snagged, and then in the end zone. That was it. That's what gets it for him. That's the Heisman moment for Jeremiah Smith. Look, that energy's right, but that wasn't the moment. It easily could be a moment featured in that, but once again, Julian Sayin was really, really good today. I think that was considered. Carnell Tate was good with Jeremiah Smith. I think that's considered. I love what I saw from Jeremiah Smith today. I don't know if that was the play or the moment that brings it to the forefront of the Heisman conversation, right? I don't know that everybody everywhere is going to be talking about that play tomorrow, and that's killer. Jeremiah Smith is playing at a high level. I don't know how many more highs I have in me there, but he's at a high level. He's played really, really well this season. I love everything I've seen from him. I think he's been patient with the Carnell Tate stuff, with Julian Sayin. I think that's definitely noteworthy, is the fact that he is a young quarterback and he's striving to kind of deal with that and work through that. I just don't know that catch, that play was the Heisman moment. It was awesome. It was unbelievable. I love seeing stuff like that. I think it's great for Jeremiah Smith and the Buckeyes, but his Heisman moment, I'm not really that sure. Tough one to answer here, but I did want to ask you guys, because I always trust you guys with this sort of information. Do you think Jeremiah Smith or Julian Sayin has a better opportunity right now to win the Heisman Trophy? Who's your front runner? Because I know these guys have they've kind of been debated lately, right? These two not going at each other, but they both on the list. Sayin's climbing higher and higher. He may be number one by Monday, but Jeremiah Smith had another great game, so I'm interested. Who has a better chance of winning the Heisman? For Jeremiah Smith, type JJ. For Julian Sayin, type JS. Our next overreaction is that defense or offenses, opponents, whatever you want to list here, finally found Ohio State's Achilles heel on defense. And this is a little specific, right? I'm going in depth because this is something I noticed in the game. Illinois, we saw, score the first red zone touchdown against the Buckeyes. If you recall, it was fourth down. They ran a slight little flip play, little flip up the middle, caught, end zone. Same thing from Penn State. They ran this slight little flip play just in front of the line, touchdown. I think at this point in time, it's a proper reaction. It's worked twice against them. We don't see many teams score in the red zone. It's possible that's an issue for them. Possible that's something they need to fix. These little flip passes or small passes just in front of the line, they sell the run, they stop, and then flip it. I might be missing a better term for it, but it's worked against Ohio State's defense. And we know, Ohio State fans know, not much has worked against that defense. I don't think it's obviously not any sort of buy you a touchdown, automatic touchdown, but next time Ohio State's in the red zone, where they've been great, by the way, they need to watch out for this. They need to play this, and they need to prove that this is not an issue for them to take care of. All right, our final overreaction. I want to let you guys know because we will have coverage for you on Tuesday. So you want to make sure you're tuned in with us here on the Ohio State Football Report. The rankings are coming out, and the Buckeyes' strength of schedule, or the terminology for it, I think is all over the place. But the big thing is Texas beat Vanderbilt today. I think that was a huge win. Texas was 20. They just beat a top 10 team. They're going to move up. I have held firm in the ground Texas is a good team. I know they've had their struggles. They may not be a great offensive team. I don't know. They have a really good defense. I know that. I watched it. I don't think it was a fluke, and I've seen them do it to other teams. Texas is a good team. Ohio State beat them. With that, plus, I still think there's some respect from a lot of college football fans about Penn State, Penn State's defense, Penn State's coaching. Maybe not the utmost top 25, but I tried to hit hard that Penn State's not a bad team. They're just in a bad situation. They still have all that talent. Did the Buckeyes, do they have a quality schedule at this point from what we've seen? Again, Texas is the ones really bringing this thing along. I think it's true. I think they have a quality schedule. Do they have Alabama play 4 ranked teams in a row? No. But again, with college football, the rankings, ranked teams, how many ranked teams, it's very messy because when you beat a team, they are no longer ranked or they move back in the rankings. You did what you're supposed to do, and now you're going to pay for it. I like what we've seen from Texas. I think Texas is a good team. I still think you lack maybe as many signature wins as other team, but I think the Buckeyes have a quality enough schedule, especially for the CFP rankings on Tuesday. Speaking of which, where will Ohio State be when the first college football playoff rankings come out on Tuesday? Where do you have them? Did this hurt them today? Does their schedule not strong enough? Maybe you disagree with me that they have a quality schedule. Maybe the committee will disagree with me that they have a quality schedule. We're going to find out Tuesday. I want to hear from you guys first. Is Ohio State going to be 1? Are they going to get screwed and end up at 2 or 3? What do you guys think? Let me know down below.